Coming up on Murrow News 8, a WSU student got a spook before going to Scarywood up in Idaho, and it's not what you think. Finding out what? Coming up next.
And WSU is in state Supreme Court for the hazing death of one of their students in 2019. Their argument for why they're not liable.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Hello and welcome back to Murrow News 8. I'm Matthew Sansom.
And I'm Peyton Yeager.
WSU is trying to reverse a ruling on the death of a WSU freshman after a hazing incident. That freshman, Sam Martinez, died of alcohol poisoning in 2019 after he was hazed as fraternity Alpha Tau Omega. The school had their first hearing in state Supreme Court yesterday after a state appeals court ruled earlier this year that the university held some responsibility.
You're off campus, away from campus security, away from administration. There's no ability to control those activities. And that's illustrated here in this record. The university could not stop the fraternity from having activities at a live out of one of its members.
On the other side, the parents say that the school knew the hazing was going on and did nothing about it. The appeal court decision had also overturned an earlier ruling saying the school was not responsible at all.
WSU football fans are already starting to prepare their setup for the football game tomorrow. Our reporter Cooper is at the tailgate lots right now. What do you see out there, Cooper?
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm out here at the tailgates near Beasley Coliseum. We actually saw Andy Okafor walk past on his way to classes or wherever he's going to go. But we're out here at the tailgates where they're flying that beautiful crimson and gray flag. And really not a whole lot of activity so far today. I think people are getting their rest, getting ready for tomorrow's early start. Getting up early, 9 a.m. probably for that 12 p.m. start. Now, we went around and counted the amount of RVs that were here. About 80, we counted specifically 82, but probably 80 to 85 total RVs, vans, just campers in general. So not a whole lot of activity. A lot of kids have not shown up. Everyone's just kind of chilling. And really, we saw some people kind of conversate over here, but that's what the tailgates are for, and we should see some activity later here tonight. I wonder what those activities are. Back to you guys at the desk.
WSU Family Weekend is here and has events all around campus for everyone to enjoy. Cougar football on Saturday versus Toledo is the main attraction, but there are events all weekend. Some of today's events are Brewfest and Todd Hall from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. and Family Weekend Glow and Flow Food Bank Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. at Sanctuary. Saturday's events are the Les Mills Body Pump Launch Party from 10:20 to 11:20 a.m. at the Rec Center. Community Perspective Tours with WSU Museum students from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Jordan Schweitzer Museum of Art. And Golf Simulator Family Fun Day is both Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Airways Hills Golf.
We went out on campus and asked students what their plans are for Family Weekend.
So this weekend for our sorority, Sigma Lambda Gamma, we're going to be working at the concession stands at the football game, go Cougs. And we're also going to be having our fundraiser to support breast cancer awareness.
A WSU sophomore hit a moose about 45 minutes north of Pullman on his way to Scarywood. According to this student, he was already very worried about the possibility of hitting a deer, so he was driving slower than he normally does. He said that if he was driving faster, him and his passengers would have been severely injured. His car was completely totaled and had to be towed off of the road.
On October 23rd at 3:30 p.m., Alaska Airlines announced a nationwide tech outage. This caused a halt in over 360 flights. We spoke with the WSU parent to see how this affected their flight to Pullman for Family Weekend.
So we were planning on taking a quick trip over from the Seattle area to Spokane and driving down here. And because of the IT outage at Alaska Airlines, we ended up sitting on the tarmac at SeaTac for about 3 hours, which was, 3 hours that we are not going to get back. We're also doing things like weighing our luggage by hand, and calculating how much weight was on the airplane. So they were really trying to get us out as soon as they could.
Early this morning, Alaska Airlines announced the halt was lifted and flights are back to normal.
At 2:55 this morning, residents of Dunkin' Dun were evacuated from their building by someone messing with the fire extinguisher and chemicals being found on the first floor. A resident states that she couldn't see anything because of how smoky the floor was. The residents of this building were allowed back at 3:25 in the morning.
Take a look at this damage. It was caused by an oversized load driving under an overpass on westbound I-90 near Cle Elum. Washington State Patrol says that the man who drove this load underneath the bridge was 64-year-old from Windham in Ontario, Canada. WCUP has ruled out the possibility of the man driving under the influence of alcohol, but the case is still under investigation. The Washington Department of Transportation says while I-90 westbound is closed, there's a detour established off exit 80.
Molding something out of nothing, so is a local business owner. Find out who and how coming up.
And there is a festival near us. Find out how you can get into the fall spirit after the break.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
A local business owner continues to find serenity through pottery. Reporter Addison Wong tells us how a childhood memory and an injury helped a woman find her passion and share it with the community.
I made this dog sculpture, and I worked on it for days.
At 8 years old, her first sculpture was nothing more than a hobby, but it would later mean much more. Candace Bolt, a Murrow graduate, spent the early years of her career in the newsroom with a full face of makeup and spiffy dresses. Now she shows up to work in clay-covered jumpsuits and undone hair.
When I went to WSU, I signed up for a pottery class, but like you get so dirty doing pottery, and I was a broadcast student, and so it was real clear real fast I wasn't going to be able to continue in the pottery class and the broadcasting class. So I dropped pottery. And then I was a reporter, and I worked in journalism for like 2 decades.
But in 2020, Candace suffered a traumatic brain injury that forced her out of the newsroom. Just a month after her injury, Candace's husband and son put together a pottery studio in their garden shed. She said when she opened the bag of clay for the first time, she was hit with a joyful, peaceful smell.
So to be able to smell that clay after my injury and just be like mentally, spiritually transported back to the pottery studio in like the best time of my life was, that itself I think was deeply healing.
Every spin of the wheel, And every stroke of the brush takes precision, something Candace lost during her injury. She found healing through making gnomes, which exceeded her expectations.
And every time we had some profit, we would just reinvest it in more equipment and supplies until finally all of this existed at my house in my basement. So that was, gosh, a couple years after my injury. So at that point, we were ready to open a studio.
What began as her own form of therapy is now something she shares with the communities of Pullman, Moscow, and Colfax. Reporting from Pullman, I'm Addison Wong, Murrow News 8.
Thanks, Addison. Turcotte is hosting a fall festival on Saturday. It's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and includes pies, vendors, and carnival games. The race is heating up between Moscow mayoral candidates. Competitors Haley Lewis and Alex Simon are running to replace outgoing Mayor Art Bettage, who says he will not be seeking re-election after serving one term. Hot-button issues both candidates have stressed is accessibility to affordable housing, while both candidates admitted there is little the mayor can feasibly change to aid in cost reduction of homes. Lewis stressed the city can act as a first defense for residents, ensuring they are able to keep their homes they're already in, while Simon felt it requires a change in land use, planning, and zoning on existing properties. The victor will be determined on November 4th.
The Adia Meter Foundation in Pullman has awarded nearly $100,000 in grants to local organizations, including Palouse Habitat for Humanity, Sojourners Alliance, the Community Action Center, and Palouse Pathways, supporting programs that strengthen communities across the Palouse. Coming up, we'll find out if we need to pull out our raincoats for the football game tomorrow. Our weather anchor Kaya has you covered up next.
Days, months.
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
Years.
I'd like to give you this.
A lifetime. Can rush by without realizing what we're missing. But it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Well, Matthew, I feel like the weather has been getting a lot cooler lately.
Yeah, finally able to put the AC unit away. Pretty nice. Well, I think we should send it over to Kai to see what we can expect.
Yes, so we're definitely getting a lot chillier weather this week. Today we're going to have a high of 66 and a low of 45. That's probably the most we're going to feel in a while. So tomorrow we're going to get a ton of rain, like pouring all day long, with a high of 66 and a low of 45, and we're getting like some 16 miles per hour wind, guys, which is like a little bit crazier than usual. And then if we can look at tomorrow's game day forecast, I'll get out of the screen for you to see that. So 9:30 a.m., I feel like that's ample tailgating time. It's gonna feel like 42, and we're gonna be having some light rain. 12:30 p.m. is kickoff. It's going to feel like 45, and we're going to get a little second of, just some clouds and no rain, but around 3:30, and honestly, right after that 12 o'clock time, the rain's going to come right back, and we're going to get even heavier rains around that fourth quarter. I definitely would recommend, going to the bookie, picking up one of those little ponchos with the Cougs all over it. I know I did that last Parents' Weekend, and I was so thankful for it because the people next to me were soaked. So we're going to look at the statewide. Over here in Olympia and Seattle, we're definitely feeling a lot chillier. And then over here, Tri-Cities, Spokane, Pullman, it's a lot of the same weather. I feel like Pullman's probably the cloudiest of all of them, but we're at least not getting rain today. And then if we can look at our 5-day forecast, like I said, Saturday is going to be super duper duper rainy. But other than that, Sunday and Monday we'll get a little tiny break from the rain, and we'll just see some cloudiness, teeny tiny bit of sun, but mostly just the clouds. Tuesday, that rain's going to kick right back in, and so Tuesday in class, and maybe bring a little raincoat. And then Wednesday, the rain's going to chill out again, and we're going to get some just partly cloudy weather. But that's all I got for you today, and I'll take that back to the desk.
Thanks, Kaya. Now I know to pick up one of those Coug ponchos before the game tomorrow. Coming up, WSU soccer had a nail-biting victory. Find out who saved the day with the goal.
And one WSU track athlete is chasing more than collegiate honors. Coming up next on Murrow News 8 Sports.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Hi, I'm Blaine with your sports. The WSU women's soccer team had a nail-biting victory over the Oregon State Beavers on Wednesday night at the Paul Lorenz Field in Corvallis. The Cougs won the day 1-0, netting one goal delivered by Cougar freshman Kira Mitchell, delivering her second game-winning shot of her rookie season. She launched a direct free kick strike in the second half to dominate over OSU, not giving up any advantages, extending their unbeaten streak against the Beavers. The WSU men's golf team managed to fight their way to the top 10 at the St. Mary's Invitational on Wednesday. The men shot an even par of 288 on Wednesday to secure their place finishing at 10th in the 16-team field with a 54-hole total of 12 over 876. Redshirt junior Ben Borgita stood out for the Cougs, posting a 2-under 70, collecting 3 birdies and a bogey in his first 9. Before finishing 9 straight pars, he shot a 2-under 70, which pushed Washington State over the edge to the final day of play at the Bayonet Golf Course. Game day is tomorrow. The Cougs are finally heading home after back-to-back losses to top 25 opponents where they lost by a total of 5 points against both Ole Miss and Virginia. Fortunately, the Rockets will not give the same challenge that Ole Miss and Virginia did, but still not a team to look over. Kickoff will be at 12:30 p.m. on the CW. The men's basketball team kicks off play against last year's Mountain West champs, the New Mexico Lobos, this Saturday at 6 p.m. in Beasley Coliseum. The game will be the first public preseason game for the Cougs since the 2018 to 2019 season when they took on New Hope Christian. Admission for the game is free. He's the most under-the-radar All-American on the WSU campus. Murrow News 8 reporter Connor Suferling went to Newberry Track, where one athlete is chasing more than just collegiate honors.
I started running in high school in Kenya. It is the fastest place field for me for training. And after the end of the day, I say one time, I'm going to joining a university, especially in the US.
That dream came true for Washington State sophomore Evans Karui, who's quickly becoming one of the top collegiate runners in the country.
In his debut, and this is going to be a very relevant time nationally.
Yeah, we were hoping that eventually he would become what he became his freshman year, but we were thinking that might be his fourth year here. So he made an absolute immediate impact, and I don't think I'd like to say, oh, I saw it coming and everything. That would make me look super brilliant, but to be honest, yeah, it's something that we thought maybe in years 3, 4, 5 we'd start to see the level of performances that he's doing right now.
To put Karui's running talent into perspective, let's compare the pace of an average Joe like me to Karui.
And that one took me about 1:37, which is like almost a full minute slower than Evans Karui, who could run at about 45 seconds. Safe to say, Karui's fast.
Karui's quick success hasn't come easy. Thousands of miles from home, he's balancing elite competition and academics.
We run these meets, and then that night, we're doing a team dinner, and he's getting back to the hotel early so he can turn in an assignment or a quiz that's due that night. So he's really on top of things, and he does take the whole student-athlete experience very importantly.
And while he's focused on nationals this season, Karui already has his sights set even higher, the Olympics.
Right now, after high school, after colleges, I am prepared to run like Olympic, because from now we still have around 3 years, and I know 3 years was going to give me a time to build up for myself, to getting more experience. Because if I getting more experience right now, I know I'm going to run better in Olympic, especially 10,000
From Kenya to Pullman, Evans Karui is running toward history, one race at a time. Connor Seiferling, Murrow News 8.
Thanks, Connor. The Washington State women's rowing team opened their 2025-2026 season in impressive fashion, earning 3 first-place finishes at the top of the head of the Spokane. The Cougars' top varsity led the way with fastest time of the day, while the varsity 4 also claimed the win in its opening flight. WSU dominated the final event, sweeping the top 3 spots in the women's pairs. The Cougs now head to California next weekend for the head of the American at Lake Natoma.
Thanks, Blaine. WSU football will be debuting a new helmet for the game tomorrow. Find out what the Murrow News 8 team thinks about it after the break.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is. Hey, thanks for your patience.
How you feel?
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother. You
Yes,
your football buddy, your football buddy. You, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work.
Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
WSU is debuting a brand new helmet just in time for Parents Week and football game tomorrow. The helmet has a full beanie Coug on it, and this image dates back to the 20s, 30s, and 40s when freshmen wore beanies. This is the 4th time the Cougs have worn some variation of gray helmets. What do you guys think?
I'm obsessed with it. I love like all things like vintage WSU, so like I think it's so cute that like the old thing is on it. I love it.
And I just love, teams doing something creative. I think it's better for the game, and it's better for the fans up in the stands for sure.
Yeah, I got a sweater with the same exact logo on it, so I definitely will be wearing that on Saturday.
Cute.
Yeah, personally, I'm always a fan of throwbacks. I mean, I love the Seahawks throwback jerseys so much. I wish they'd use those all the time, but you know how it is. But with WSU, we've got a lot of jerseys, so I'll be excited to see these new helmets.
Thanks for watching. If you missed anything from our show, all of it will be found in just moments on YouTube. And be sure to follow us on social media. Have a safe weekend.